A lot of ladies are asking for a video about being a female player. What do they need to do to start getting the upper hand on these guys and doing some of the things they see guys doing? I'm not here to judge you or what you want out of life. You tell me what you want, I'll try my best to help you get it. If you want to be a female player, I'm going to do my best to help you go ahead and accomplish that goal. The biggest difference between a guy who settles down with one woman or a guy who struggles to get women and a guy who's a player is the mindset. It's how you view the world around you and how you view yourself in that world. That's the biggest thing. So keep that in mind when I start talking to you about some of these steps to being a female player. You got to be real about the way the world is and about the way you are and what you're expecting from the situation. All right? Step one to being a female player is respecting the game. A lot of the reason why women struggle dealing with players, dealing with guys in general, is not respecting the game, especially when you want to get certain things from a guy without giving what he wants in return. Because that's all it is to be a player, is get what you want from a situation without giving the expected return. So if you, like, say it's a guy and he's like, I want to sleep with this girl and she thinks that she's probably going to get a relationship out of it. I want her to pay for me to get certain stuff, but she thinks she's going to get a relationship out of it. I want her to take care of my needs and wants, and she thinks she's going to get a relationship out of it, but I don't give that to her. That's playing the person. That's basically making them think certain things are going to happen, but never really doing so. So if you want to be a female player, you have to respect the game. Instead of calling every guy that ever played you a narcissist, instead of calling every guy who ever played you a scumbag, instead of calling every guy who ever played you whatever negative term, fuck boy, not a real man and all that, you got to say, hey, I'm trying to do this going forward. I'm trying to do this to other people, so I've got to respect the game and say, wow, if you played me, good job. You did your thing. You played me, you tricked me into doing this or you are doing that. You got what you wanted without me getting what I wanted from the situation. Instead of being mad and being sour grapes about the situation, I'm going to respect the game. I'm going to respect what you did, and I'm going to give you some credit as player status. You can't be a victim and be a player at the same time. You got to accept the fact that if somebody got over on you before, it's like if you're a hustler or a con artist and you get conned, you can't get mad and be like, what kind of con artist would do somebody like this? You snake, you scumbag. You can't be like that. You're like, they got me. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. And then use that con on somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to be a female player, you have to take a totally different approach to how you see the world and how you see situations. You can't keep playing victim and try to be a player at the same time. It doesn't work that way. Some guys try to do it, and look how it turns out for them. They outside of some girl's house crying in the rain, looking like a sucker. Step number two, because really the things are all about what you do internally, okay? So you got to understand this concept. That's why these steps are like this, because once you change how you are internally, the being a player part is super easy. It's no problem. You got to be real about what you want. Now, what some people do is they say they want to be a player, or they say they want no attachment because they can't actually get attachment, or they can't get some of the things that they want. So they try to use being a player as a cop-out. This is for men and women. A lot of times you see people just using something as a cop-out because they're not able to get what they really want out of a situation. You can't get a boyfriend, you can't get a girlfriend, you can't get anything steady, so you try to pretend like you want to just get the thing that you can easily get. So guys will smash, so you're like, I'm going to call myself a female player by just letting guys do what they want to do, which is smash. You're not playing anybody. They were like, hey, you could have told me there wasn't going to be a relationship involved. You could have told me you were never going to call me again. I still was going to smash. So you're not being a player in that respect. If you want to be a player, you got to be real about what you want. What do you want? You're like, do I want guys to take me out? Do I want guys to emotionally connect with me? Do I want guys to spend some money on me? Do I want guys to help me move or mow my lawn? Whatever the heck it is you like for guys to do for you. Whatever you want to have done, you have to categorize those things and say, this is what I want from a situation, and this is what they would want me to do that I don't really want to do. So, if you understand what you want from the situation, then you can start tailoring whatever it is you're doing to that. So if you want guys to take you out, you want guys to spend money on you, you want guys to be there whenever you call them, you want guys to be somebody to be a shoulder to cry on, I don't care, whatever it is. You say, okay, I understand what I want from the situation. I'm not going to settle for less because it's easier or because I'm in a situation where I don't think I can get what I actually want. I'm in a situation where I understand I want certain things, so I'm not just going to let dudes smash and then call myself a player. I'm not going to let dudes use me for what they want and then just call myself a player as a cop-out. No, I'm actually going to hold myself to a standard and say, here are the things that you really want and get those things from the situation. Step number 3, and this is just as important as all the other ones. Understand what they want. What is it that other people want from you? So when you deal with a guy, does he want sex? Does he want a relationship? What is it that the person wants from you? And you got to be real about that. Because if you're not being real with yourself about the situation, then you're just playing yourself. You're not being a player, you're playing yourself. You get the difference? So you got to be real about what the guy wants from you. Because if you know the guy wants to smash and you're letting them smash on a regular basis, calling yourself a player, like, oh, I'm a female player, I'm playing these dudes. No, you just giving an even trade. In a fair exchange, ain't no robbery, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So if you letting dudes smash for money, you're not a female player. You're really more like a prostitute in that respect. You know what I'm saying? That's just an exchange of goods. So if you're saying, I want money, you want sex, but instead of getting sex, you're giving me a shoulder to cry on, you're getting a high five while I get this money, now you're a player. If you're saying, I want somebody to talk to, I want somebody to help me move my couch down the steps, you know, I got 15 flights of stairs, no elevator, I want you to move my couch down these stairs for me. I want you to put up these bookshelves in my house. I know you want sex. I know you want a girlfriend. I know you want a relationship or whatever it is, but I'm not going to give those things to you. I'm just going to get my couch moved. I'm just going to get these bookshelves put up. I'm just going to get my dog trained for me for free. Whatever. You know, and whatever type of situation I want. So you got to be real about what that person wants from you, because you're not really a player unless you're, and I know this sound cold in a mug because I guess it is, but you're not a player really unless you're taking without really giving. If you're fair exchanging, somebody might call you a player, but a fair exchange is no robbery. All right. So if that's the case, you're not being a player. So you got to look at what you want from the situation, what they want from the situation. And if the balance is in your favor of here's what I want and here's what you want not being fulfilled at all, that's being a player. So, you know, you got to understand that concept. And if you don't, then you just, like I said before, you just end up playing yourself. Now, I'm not glorifying being a player. I'm not condemning it either. But you have to understand this. If you want to get involved in being a player, you have to realize you're going to take your losses and you got to be able to take them in stride. You can't go back to victim mentality when it doesn't work out for you. You can't go back to, oh my God, why me? And all these guys, all bitter dogs. You got to take that type of thought process out of your mind. You got to take those words out of your vocabulary. Once you decide you want to be a player, you got to go with the ups and downs and understand the fact that you might need an exit strategy too. Someday you may not want to be out here playing anymore. You want to be maybe get in a relationship or do whatever it is you want to do going forward. But understand this, when you get into the player lifestyle, you're going to have your ups and downs. Sometimes people are going to get over on you. You can't cry about it. You got to charge it to the game. So that's the biggest thing. I'm not saying that it's a good way to go or a bad way to go. I'm saying you got to see if you're built for that lifestyle and if you could take the ups and downs and all the good and bad that comes along with it. If you can't, it's not something to get involved in. You might want to kind of hunker down and work on trying to build, lasting relationships with people. But if it's something that you really want to do and you're like, hey, I'm out there doing it, you can't take judgment from other people and you can't judge anybody else.